better gift on Valentine's Day than some Mid-American Conference basketball? Bowling Green men's basketball welcomes Toledo into the Stroh Center for round 2 of the Battle of I-75. Tyler Cavlett's here alongside Foster Ostai and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Guys, we've seen this matchup one time this season. Toledo wins it on a game winner in the final seconds, with Bowling Green failing to convert on the final possession of the game. It was a mere copy of the last time they had faced in the 2024-2025 season. What do we expect in this second edition of this year's Battle of I-75 between these two teams?
I feel like it's gearing up for another close one. I mean, the last couple ones have just been so close, so tightly contested. I can't see it going any other way. I mean, if you look on paper, they're very similar teams. They like playing on the inside. They like using their bigs to kind of penetrate on the underneath the rim. Both teams aren't really the strongest shooting teams shooting-wise, but I think they match up well on paper, so I think it's going to be another close one here today.
I absolutely agree with you, Artie. These two teams coming in here down the stretch, both fighting for positioning. Toledo in 5th, Bowling Green right behind them in 6th. Both of them are going to be jockeying for position down the line, and these type of games, these big Battle of I-75 rivalry games, are going to mean a lot to both teams for standing for postseason play in Cleveland. So both of them got a lot to play for here. Expect some fireworks today.
Both teams coming in off a win. For Toledo, they defeated Western Michigan on Wednesday, 90-79, the second most points scored by Toledo in a conference game this season. Meanwhile, Bowling Green's coming off a victory over Northern Illinois, 68-52 on Wednesday as well. Javante Campbell reached the 2,000-point career collegiate mark across all levels during that game. So both teams coming in with a little confidence. Toledo sits 5th in the conference standings, 13-12 overall, 7-5 in the MAC. Bowling Green one spot behind them, 15-10, 6-6 in the MAC, good for 6th place in the standings. Looking over at this Toledo team, they are 2-3 since the Bowling Green matchup a few weeks ago. What do we feel like are the biggest strengths, weaknesses of this team that the Falcons will have to watch out for?
I'll take absolutely their scoring. They're one of the better scoring teams in the MAC. They're going to put up points inside the paint. And with that comes their two bigs, Sean Craig and Austin Parks. Both of those two bigs, Sean Craig 7.7 rebounds a game, Austin Parks 5.3 rebounds per game. You got to keep both of them off the boards early and often. This team for Toledo, they're going to look to get rebounds and get those second chance opportunities. And we saw it against Bowling Green in Savage Arena in Toledo. They get those second chance opportunities, they're going to make you pay.
And I'm looking at the opposite side of that. Shooting-wise, they have Leroy Bladden Jr. and Sonny Wilson. Those are two really strong guards. Bladden Jr. averaging 16 points. Obviously, he scored the game-winning shot with 8.2 seconds left in the game against BG. And then Sonny Wilson, that's a name I'm a little bit interested in. I mean, averaging 17.2 points per game this season. But last time they played, he only scored 7 points and shot 3 for 14. So, I mean, if he can heat up today at the Stroh and have a better game, it might be really tough for the Falcons to be able to stop that shooting attack.
It was just the second time this season that Wilson has scored under 10 points in the game, just the third time in the past 2 seasons. Do have the national anthem coming up here in a second, but before we go to that, Todd Kowalczyk has had so much success against Bowling Green, 17-8 against the Falcons in his time with Toledo. .680 winning percentage is the best by any Toledo head coach against Bowling Green. So we're going to head to a break for the national anthem. When we come back, we will talk about Bowling Green, get a little more into this matchup, give you the starting lineups, and then we will have tip-off at the Stroh Center for the Battle of I-75. You're listening to BGSU Men's Basketball against Toledo right here on Falcon Radio.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
You are listening to Falcon basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network live on Falcon Radio.
Back here at the Stroh Center, about 7.5 minutes away from the starting lineups being introduced on the Bill Frack court. We went over Toledo a little bit, looking over at this Bowling Green team. What difference do you think there is in the team right now compared to when they faced off against Toledo about 3 weeks ago?
I think the biggest difference is a healthy Justin Thomas. I mean, we heard from head coach Todd Simon. He was kind of working through a little bit of injuries during that time period. But it felt like against Northern Illinois, that was the healthiest he had been in a long while. He had a great game. He had 4 rebounds. He showed up all over the stat sheet against the Huskies. And another one I'm looking at is Troy Glover II. I mean, if he can stay in this game, last time he got a technical early. He had to sit out the entire first half. That was really a big difference maker for Toledo. It allowed him to attack the inside more with Parks because he didn't have anyone to match up against him. But Glover, last time out against Northern Illinois, he had 5 blocks. So that's who I'm looking for right now inside the paint if you want to stop that in-the-paint presence of guys like Owinga and Austin Parks.
And I'll go off that even more. Just a team that's had to learn how to play without one of their more important players is Justin Thomas. We talked about it a little bit. He does a little bit of everything for this Falcons team. And with him missing, other guys had to step it up. And as they do that, we find new roles, new players picking up, different things. Shackelford, Myar Wool picking up some defensive matchup. So getting different players in different set situations helps them try to figure out, Thomas is having foul trouble. How do we fix this? What do we go to? It's different looks now for the Falcons that helps them make their offense more diverse.
Toledo's won 7 of the past 9 games in this rivalry. The teams are 2-2 in the past 4, but the Rockets lead the all-time series 100-85. This will be the 186th all-time meeting between the two programs. Just looking at the rivalry as a whole, the Battle of I-75, almost unanimously regarded as the best rivalry in the Mid-American Conference. What makes this matchup so special, especially in the men's basketball arena?
I have to say, it's just the distance between the two teams. Stone throw away. You can drive, to Toledo from Bowling Green, not even 30 minutes. It's that type of closeness that puts these two teams in such a unique position of this rivalry has so much behind it. There's never a game that you can't make it. If you're in Bowling Green or in Toledo, you can easily get to the other arenas. And I'll take another one. Very high-level teams. These two teams always are going to be fighting for spots in postseason play. You're never going to have a season where these two teams aren't in the conversation of one of the better teams in the MAC, and that's one of the big things that makes this rivalry so unique.
I would say just the atmosphere that each arena brings. I mean, you go to Savage Arena, it always gets filled up for these games. Against Bowling Green, it's always loud. Same here at the Stroh Center. I mean, it's Valentine's Day, and the Stroh Center is packed right now. The entire student section is filled. So just the atmosphere that it brings out from the fans, because, I mean, these two schools do not like each other. I mean, football, basketball, any sport, really. It's always such a fun matchup, especially in men's basketball.
A lot of key players on both sides. Who are we'll go Falcon 4 players? You guys can each give 2 of your own, either side, that you are looking for as impact players that can fundamentally change this game.
Well, I'll start off with 1 from the Falcons and 1 from the Rockets. So I talked about him earlier, but Troy Glover II. I really feel like today is the day for him to have a game. I mean, Right now, heading into the season, averaging 5.3 rebounds per game. He's become a really strong in the paint defender, a really strong perimeter defender. So I feel like today is the day that he really needs to step up, and he's got to stay in the game, and he's got to be able to not take any technicals. As for Toledo, Austin Parks, I mean, last time in the paint, he was being fed early in that first half. They're going to feed him early once again. I think they're going to try to capitalize off that strategy, but they have to make sure he stays out there. He can't play it. They just got to keep feeding him. They just got to keep attacking.
And I'll go starting with Toledo. Leroy Blyden Jr. hit the game winner last time in these two teams meeting. 19 points and 5 rebounds for the freshman guard. Watch for him to look to have another big game, as they're going to look to get him rolling very early, as he plays a very pivotal point in this offense. And for the Falcons, you can't go without mentioning the Falcons without Javonte Campbell. Last time these two teams met, 29.6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. He is the head of this offense. They will look to get Javonte Campbell going, and when they start rolling with Javonte Campbell, everything in the offense opens up, and it really helps this Falcons team find a groove, both offensively and defensively, because when offense is rolling, the defense turns to offense for the Falcons.
And then the final one before we go to a little bit of a break here, before we come back and introduce the starting lineups. What are your Falcon 4 keys to the game? What are the 4 things that will determine who wins the Battle of I-75?
Well, I'll give 2 real quick. You got to keep Toledo off the offensive board. Austin Parks, we talked about it, and Sean Craig are both going to attack that offensive board early and often. You have to box out. You cannot miss a single box out in this game. They will get those second chance opportunities, and that's what feeds Blyden Jr. and Sonny Wilson to get those scoring often and early. And for the Falcons, that 1-3-1 defense that we see them run a lot, they have to be communicating early in it. Last game versus Toledo built their way back in by finding corner threes in that 1-3-1 zone. So they have to communicate early and often so that they do not allow those corner threes to happen.
For Bowling Green, it's simple for me. You just can't have any empty possessions. There's been a lot of times where they really wind down the shot clock, and I know Coach Simon, he feels comfortable with that. But a lot of these times in these first half, they're really winding it down, and then they have to take a shot at the last second, and then they walk away with nothing. You can't have that in a rivalry game like this, especially when there's only a couple games left in the Mid-American Conference. Every point at this moment counts. As for Toledo, keep control of those possessions. I mean, last time against Javonte Campbell for the in the paint video for in the paint with BGSU men's basketball, he mentioned to me how he felt that Toledo won last game because they had control over the possessions. They had more possessions than Bowling Green. Toledo's got to keep control of those possessions. They got to force turnovers, and they got to turn that into scoring.
All right, so we will take a quick break. We'll come back in about a minute with the starting lineups for Bowling Green and Toledo, just moments away from the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
This is Falcon men's basketball coverage live on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
Starting lineups are in here at the Stroh Center for the Battle of I-75. First for Toledo, looking at their backcourt, it'll be led by Leroy Blyden Jr., 6'1", 170 freshman guard, leading all MAC freshmen in scoring with 16 points per game from Detroit, Michigan. He'll be joined by the veteran guard, 6'1", 175 junior Sonny Wilson from Pontiac, Michigan. Third team All-MAC selection last season. And then the final guard for them will be Minor Strong, 6'3", 175, sophomore guard from Omaha, Nebraska. He has replaced over the past few games Kyler Vanderjagt in the starting lineup. The two forwards starting for the Rockets, you're going to have Sean Craig, senior forward, 6'7", 220 from Sylvania, Ohio, not too far away. And then Austin Parks, 6'10", 250, junior center from St. Mary's, Ohio, played the past 2 seasons at Ohio State. For Bowling Green, it's going to be a lineup that a lot of Falcon fans are familiar with. It'll be led by Javante Campbell, the 6'2", 185 senior guard from Muskogee, Oklahoma. He'll be joined in the backcourt by Justin Thomas. Thomas, a 6'7", 184 senior guard from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the final guard in the starting 5 is Josiah Shackelford, 6'4", 212 sophomore guard from Sanford, Florida. The 2 big men down low in the paint will be Sam Towns. Towns, a 6'9", 200-pound senior forward from Columbus, Ohio. And Troy Glover, the second, 6'10", 225-pound senior forward from Wheaton, Illinois. I think the biggest difference in the starting lineups is 1, a healthy Justin Thomas for Bowling Green, like we mentioned, and 2, the switch that Todd Kowalczyk has made for the Rockets in replacing Vanderjagt with Minor Strong over the past 4 games.
I mean, I think it might just be a strategy of Kowalczyk wants to add more scoring to that second unit. I mean, heading into today, Vanderjagt is averaging almost 10 points per game. You kind of want to have a scorer in that second unit, and you kind of want to have more bench presence from that. So I think the strategy is just, hey, when BG takes out their starters, you put in a guy who can score, and that's going to help the second unit.
And that is something to watch for. Toledo really struggles with their bench scoring. Just over 15 bench points a game. It's the second worst mark in the MAC. It ranks 320th out of 365 teams in the country.
And that is all about momentum. That's what swings games, and especially big games and rivalry games. Bench points can swing the game immensely. And having Vanderjagt come off the bench and having him, a last couple of games that he's came off the bench really helps them get into a rhythm of him coming off the bench. So that could be big here for the Rockets.
For Bowling Green, they're going to be in their orange uniforms this season. The Falcons wearing those orange uniforms are 5-4. They have a 13-16 record in them across the 3 years of the Todd Simon era. Toledo's going to be wearing their midnight blues with the gold Toledo across the chest and the gold numbering and lettering, along with some gold checkerboard trim along the sides. And the Stroh Center still filling up. You can feel the environment in the arena, the energy. Fans ready for round 2 of the Battle of I-75. Very pivotal game for these 2 programs in terms of seeding for the Mid-American Conference Tournament. The only 2 teams that have punched their ticket to Cleveland so far are Miami and Akron. But these teams could use this win in terms of avoiding facing those teams come tournament time.
I mean, if you look at the bottom of the standings, it's really sort of a dogfight now to try to stay at their spot. BG are 6-6. Heading into the weekend, UMass was 6-6 as well, and then Buffalo had a 5-7 record heading into the weekend. So those lower spots, it's really just a fight in order to get in.
Very important game on hand. Glover and Parks can do the tip-off. Parks jumps early. Now they do it the right way. Parks wins it for Toledo. The Rockets will start with the ball going right to left across your radio dial. Bowling Green will go left to right. It's Sonny Wilson with it. He hands it off back to Wilson. Wilson down to Parks in the paint. Parks guarded by Glover. Campbell tried to swipe it away, doesn't. And Parks maneuvers his way inside for 2 points. Toledo up early.
And then, again, that's the inside scoring matchup you want. You want to feed Parks inside the paint, let him work a little, let him try to get around his man, and it results in 2 points.
Glover with the ball in front of the free throw line, loses the handle, gives it off to Campbell. Campbell driving inside, almost lost it, kicks it out to Thomas. Thomas resets the Shackelford left wing, 10 on the shot clock now. Over to the right corner to Towns. Back up top to Shackelford. Shackelford thought about a jump shot, dishes it out to Towns. Towns' three-pointer no good. He has really struggled from deep, just 2 for 17 over his past few games now from beyond the arc for Sam Towns. And there's a triple launched out of transition by Leroy Blyden Jr. Only made 2 in the last contest against Bowling Green. Has 1 early. 5-0 Toledo. Thomas lost the ball inside, trying to go up for it. Stripped away. Here comes Minor Strong. Strong feeds inside to Sean Craig. Craig guarded by Towns. Bullying his way inside, lost the ball. Campbell comes up with it. Javante Campbell now sole possession for first and second place in single season steals in program history. Goes coast to coast to put it in for 2. 5-2 Toledo leads.
And that's that defense to offense we talked about in pregame show. Bowling Green likes to get out and run, and when they're able to, they can get easy buckets.
83 steals on the season for Campbell. Like I said, that's the second most in a single season in program history. He's chasing his own single season record of 90 set last year. Sean Craig misses a jumper just past the charity stripe. Josiah Shackelford will take it the other way. Shackelford resets to Towns, now in the hands of Campbell. Javante Campbell appearing to be a shoo-in for MAC Defensive Player of the Year come March. Driving inside with it is Shackelford. Flies too fast, can't finish the layup. Sonny Wilson will bring it the other way. Bowling Green does a good job of getting back in transition. Wilson trying to get past Campbell, goes for a little fadeaway J in the paint, no good. Rebound secured by Glover. Fast-paced offense to begin the game by both sides. 5-2, Toledo leads, 17.5 to play in the first half. Justin Thomas with the ball, right wing, driving inside, picks it up at the free throw line, looking for Campbell. He's guarded, gives it out to Towns, right wing. Towns on that near side wing, moving around a Glover screen, top of the key. 7 on the shot clock, and go step back triple. Sam Towns cans it.
I mean, I know you said he struggled from the three-point range recently, Tyler, but I mean, that's as good a shot as I've ever seen. I mean, takes a little bit of a step back, hits it right in front of his defender's face. A great shot by Sam Towns.
All knotted up at 5 apiece. Inside is Craig. Towns came flying in and swatted at the ball, but got mostly Craig. Craig goes to the ground, and Towns will get his first personal foul of the game. Sean Craig will go to the line for 2 free throws.
And the precision passing right now by Toledo really getting right through this 1-3-1 defense of the Falcons. Falcons going to have to really not tie down this defense if they want to keep in this game.
I mean, they live and die by that zone defense, Foster. I mean, you see it every game. You see they run it almost every play. They're going to have to get that one figured out if they want to pick up the win here today.
Craig hits the first from the line, and this is not where you want to put Toledo. They lead the Mid-American Conference, 76.9% shooting from the charity stripe. Craig hits both. Gets it to rattle in, 7-5 Toledo, under 17 to play in the first half. Javante with the ball. Moves around a Glover screen at the free throw line, driving inside the paint, feeds it to Glover. Glover got hit as he went up for the slam. That's going to be a foul on Minor Strong. So Troy Glover II will get a trip to the free throw line. Glover, not the best free throw shooter in the world, 47.2% on the season, 17 for 36.
He's been improving throughout the season in his free throws. He started off the season very rough. As you've seen the season go on, he's made it much more comfortable from the line.
At the time of the Toledo game, I want to say he was about 33% from the line.
I mean, with Minor Strong, I would want to say that depending on how this one goes, it wasn't necessarily a bad foul. I mean, a dunk is momentum factor, especially at this point in the game. If you just get in a go away with that position with this one, it's not always just a bad foul.
Agree with that. Glover splits the pair, 7-6. Toledo leading Bowling Green, 16.5 to play in the first half. Strong with the ball, top of the key, guarded by Campbell. It's moved around the outside, now in the hands of Sonny Wilson. Far side wing, gives it up top to Blyden. Blyden gonna launch a deep triple, no good. Off target, rebounded by Javante. Here comes Campbell. Campbell gets hit by Strong as Strong tried to knock the ball out. Campbell was midair for a second before he fell to the ground. The crowd does not like that one. Javante is okay. And that's going to be the second foul on Strong. He'll check out. Kyler Vanderjagt will check in as his replacement.
I mean, he just shoulder checked him. If you look at the replay, he just kind of like
Gustav
leans.
Sternberg hit.
Yeah, he just leans his shoulder into Campbell. And I talked about a smart foul. That was a dumb foul by Minor Strong.
Speaking of Gustav Sternberg, hockey going to be facing Augustana in the second game of their series tonight on WBGU 88.1 FM. Ben Korak and Lucas Kleinmeyer on the call from Sioux Falls, South Dakota for that one. You can tune into that if you'd like. As Javante drains a triple. Javante Campbell, he has improved that three-point shooting as of late. He's become a 3-level scorer for Bowling Green, and he gives the Falcons their first lead of the game, 9-7, with 15.5 to play. Austin Parks inside, knocked by Campbell. I believe they're going to assign Javante that foul. They will, and that'll take us to a media timeout. 15:33 to play in the first half. Bowling Green 9, Toledo 7. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Bowling Green Baseball kicks off their 2026 season in Atlanta, Georgia against number 5 Georgia Tech on Friday, February 13th at 4 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Noah Seeley will have a recap of all the action available on bgfalconmedia.com, your home for all BGSU athletics news and updates.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Bowling Green leading at the first media timeout of the Battle of I-75. Falcons 9, Rockets 7 here at the Stroh Center. Tyler Kamelix alongside Foster Ostei and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. And, you know, it's an important day. It's the Battle of I-75, but it's also Artie's birthday. It's a happy birthday, Artie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The big 22 today.
22. I'm almost as old as Foster.
All right.
Just 30 more years and I'll be as old as Foster is.
Back in my day, we wouldn't take that.
Bowling Green has the early lead. It'll be Toledo possession. A foul by Javante Campbell before we went to break. Toledo inbounding to the right of the basket on baseline. Inbounds it to Blyden. Leroy Blyden Jr. gives it off to Craig in the near side corner. Craig guarded by newly checked in Javon Ruffin. Kicks it out to Wilson. Back to Craig. Now over to Owinga, who is newly checked in. Hits it from the Wood County Hospital mark. Just inside the three-point arc, near side. All knotted up at 9 apiece. Jalen Owinga averaging nearly 10 points a game the past 5. He's scored double digits in 4 of his past 5 contests. Really gotten going as a bench piece for the Rockets. Aiden Goins newly checked in, driving inside. He's blocked. Gets the rebound and keeps his feet in from falling out of baseline. Tremendous athletic play. It's ended up in the hands of Ruffin, who drains a deep triple just inside of the midcourt logo as the shot clock was lowering.
And Ruffin, who's struggled at times from behind the arc, gets his first 3 to fall here. A great sign for the Falcons.
12-9, Bowling Green leads. They've shot 3 for 4 from deep. Ball in the hands of Vanderjagt. Now Craig, spot up triple, he responds.
So we're dueling threes now here at the Stroh Center. I mean, 2 back-to-back from pretty much the same spot on the floor from the top of the arc.
Javante, guarded by Wilson, makes his move, driving inside left, flips to the right hand and gets it to go. What a shot by Javante.
Dances on the rim there for a second before falling. Allows the defense to get back and get set as this Toledo's team playing very quick today.
Tremendous touch on the layup. They are indeed, and this is what we saw in the first half of the first matchup. Fast-paced offense on both sides. Owinga spot up mid-range jumper on the far side wing. Gets it to roll in. 14 apiece. Knotted up. Just under 14 minutes to play in the first half. Mayar Wall, first time we've said his name today. He's been back on the bench, coming off as a scoring piece for Todd Simon's unit. Misses a jumper there. Offensive rebound by Aiden Goins. Puts it up to go. He'll have a chance for a three-point play.
Goins, I mean, he just blew right by everybody, just got underneath the rim, got the rebound, and gets a chance for one more. What a burst of energy from Goins.
Goins had a rough go last time against this Toledo team. 12 minutes and 4 fouls. Really coming out here and showing, Last game, that was not who he is. Right now, offensive rebounds and putbacks, this is the play that he brings to this team.
You want to talk about someone who has came out of nowhere to be a supporting cast member for Bowling Green. Aiden Goins did not score in 12 minutes in the first game against Toledo. He's averaging 6 points a game on over 50% shooting his past 3 contests and converts the three-point play, 17-14 Bowling Green.
I mean, he had to play more minutes last time than he expected because of that Troy Glover getting that technical foul early, but it looks like he's really been in a big burst of energy here so far for the Falcons.
Vanderjagt feeds it to Austin Park. Back to Vanderjagt off the pick and roll. Spot-up jumper just inside the three-point arc. No good. Tipped around by Wool. Maintained by Ruffin. Ruffin thought about a triple. Drives inside. Tries to feed it off to Towns. Cannot. Toledo takes it the other way. Here comes Owinga. Now it goes to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt's floater over wall is pure. 17-16. Bowling Green still leads by 1. 12:45 to play in the first half here at the Stroh Center. Javante Campbell has it top of the key, guarded by Will James Jr. Now switched on to by Vanderjagt. Campbell, spot up triple, rolls out, rebounded by James. In the hands now of Sonny Wilson, the veteran guard, one of the best assist turnover ratios in the Mid-American Conference. Kicks it out to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt just 3 points a game over his past 4. Gives it off to Wilson. Wilson running floater in the paint is good. Creative shot by the Pontiac, Michigan native. Gives Toledo a lead, 18-17. Next dead ball will bring us to a media timeout. Sam Towns driving inside, picks up his dribble, kicks it out to Goins. Open three-pointer, no good. Off front iron, left it short. Sonny Wilson with the ball, moving around a screen by Owinga, picks up his dribble, gives it to Parks. Austin Parks out by the three-point arc. Lowering his shoulder and moving inside against Javon Ruffin. Mismatch does not go. Goins there to collect the rebounds. Here comes Javante Campbell in transition, bullying his way inside, loses it, falls to the ground. Sonny Wilson taking it the other way. Here comes Wilson in transition, trying to go coast to coast, cannot. He falls to the ground. Meyer Wool picks it up. It's a 2-on-3 in favor of Toledo. Wool almost lost his dribble, goes back out to the three-point arc. Bowling Green will slow the offense down in the hands of Campbell. Hectic, fast-paced offense the past few possessions by both these rivals. Javante moving inside, kicks it out. Towns, left wing. Towns 5 of the shot clock, kicks it out. Goins, wide open triple. Aiden Goins leaves it short once again. Rebounded by Will James Jr. He's been inserted over the past few games as a role piece for Kowalczyk and the Rockets. Wilson gives it over to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt thought about triple, drives inside, kicks it out to James. Will James Jr. drains the triple in front of Tom Simon in the Bowling Green bench.
And that's that 1-3-1 kind of collapsing in, and Toledo finding that open shooter in the corner.
21-17 Toledo, 10:15 to play in the first half. Halfway through the first half of the Battle of I-75. Javante Campbell with the ball, far side wing, gives it to Goins, back to Campbell. Campbell now makes a move inside, feeds it off to Goins. Goins rejected as he goes to the ground. Austin Parks sends it back.
Refs letting him play very physical down low right now. A lot of bodies hitting the floor. Todd looking for a call out there at mid-court right now.
He's looking for an explanation, I think. He's having a discussion now with the referee.
A lot of physicality on that rejection by Parks. No call made. And we will head to a media timeout. Officially halfway through the first half of the Battle of I-75. 10 minutes exactly remaining. 21-17, Toledo leads. You're listening to BGSU Men's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ed Council.
Check out live updates on X at BG_FMSN.
Back here at the Stroh Center, 21-17, Toledo leading Bowling Green in the battle by 75. 10 minutes left to go. We're halfway through this first half. After this game, we will have the reveal of Freddie and Frida from this past year. A big event on campus. BG Falcon Media will have a story about that on bgfalconmedia.com, so keep an eye out for that one. But it will be Bowling Green ball, inbounding baseline under the basket after Austin Parks rejected Aiden Goins before we went to break. It's inbounded to Shackelford. His turnaround jumper with time expiring on the shot clock is left short and no good. Leroy Blyden Jr. with the ball, driving inside, tries to put it up, does not go, lost it, got it back and kicked it out to Vanderjagt. He slithers his way inside and gets a floater to fall. 23-17 Toledo, their largest lead of the game, now 6 points.
On a 9-0 run right now. The offense is just running really well right now for Toledo. They're moving the ball very well. Their defense is playing very physical against BG.
Meyerwall, right wing, gives it to Shackelford on the low block. Shackelford puts his shoulder into the defender, does not go in the first attempt. His putback is good. First points of the game for Shackelford. Now a 4-point deficit for Bowling Green, 23-19. Just over 9 minutes to play in the first half.
I'd like to see them continue to go to that. Shackelford being guarded by Blyden Jr. If they're not going to send backside help, continue to let Shackelford work down low.
Vanderjagt gives it to Will James Jr. James over to Blyden. Blyden top of the key. Makes Wool miss after the nice dribbling. He cannot finish the shot, however. Shackelford will take it. Justin Thomas trying to put his shoulder into the defender and drive inside baseline. There is a blocking foul called on Will James Jr. for the Rockets. That'll be his first personal.
It's interesting to see the Falcons run a lineup without Javonte Campbell for a little bit there. You don't normally see that this season. Campbell usually plays almost every minute on the court, especially in these types of games.
He does indeed. Played 39 minutes in the first game against Toledo out of a possible 40. Glover with it down low. Physical there between him, Owinga, and Sean Craig. They're going to get Owinga on a foul. So second straight foul by the Rockets that will send Troy Glover the second to the free throw line for the second time today.
I like the idea of going down to Glover with the mismatch of Craig on him. He's got to make a quicker decision down there if he's going to go and try to go to score, or if he's going to kick it out.
Glover, 2 shots upcoming. This is the first. Too strong off back iron. Just 1 for 3 from the line now so far today, early in the game for Glover. Javonte Campbell's the game's leading scorer with 7. He leads all Mid-American Conference players in scoring in conference play, over 22 a game. Sean Craig leads the Rockets with 5 at the moment. Sonny Wilson with the ball, guarded by Campbell. Wilson hands it off to Parks, back to Wilson, and now over to Blyden. Blyden driving inside, kicks it out to Wilson. Wilson had to run over to get it. Austin Parks now with it on the Wood County Hospital logo, backing his way into the paint. Jump stop, tries to go a finger roll layup on the right side. That is no good. Rebounded by Justin Thomas. Thomas gives it to Shackelford. Shackelford has to pick up his dribble, trying to go baseline. Gets it back, now drives inside, beats Parks, gets inside, can't finish the layup. It's rebounded by Austin Parks.
Shackelford coming in for that layup. Too much pressure on his backside by Parks. But, I mean, you got to finish at that point if you're declining the defender and he's not putting a hand on the ball.
Sean Craig drives inside, rejected by Glover. Here comes Thomas with it. Up the court to Towns, who finishes off the layup. Here comes Bowling Green storming back. Just a 1-point deficit, 23-22. Under 7.5 to play. It's a 5-0 run for the Orange and Brown.
Toledo's been scoreless for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. BG's capitalizing on all the momentum right now.
Basketball, a game of momentum. Both of these teams taking heavy swings early. Driving inside is Wilson, who gets the floater to go in the painted area. Nice shot by Sonny Wilson. Javante Campbell will bring it up the other way. Campbell trying to get to the rim as fast as he can. Deflected as he jumped up and came down with the ball. Over in the corner to Shackelford. His three-pointer no good in front of the Toledo bench. Toledo moving fast with it. Vanderjagt triple in front of the Bowling Green bench. No good. Rebounded by Glover. Justin Thomas will hand it off to Sam Towns, who kicks it over to Shackelford, far side wing. Shackelford drives inside. Ball flies into the student section as it was stripped out of his hands as he was going toward the rim. And that will lead us to a media timeout. It'll be Bowling Green ball when we come back. The Rockets lead the Falcons 25-22, 6:32 left to play in the first half. You are listening to BGSU men's basketball against Toledo in the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network now has a pregame, halftime, and postgame show for every BGSU men's and women's basketball broadcast, starting 25 minutes before each game. Make sure to tune in to hear insights and knowledge from Falcon Media Sports Network analysts. You can listen to every broadcast on WBGU 88.1 FM or Falcon Radio, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
25-22, Toledo leads Bowling Green with 6:32 left to play in the first half. When we were going to break, I said it was going to be Bowling Green ball. It turns out it was a foul by Leroy Blyden Jr. as Shackelford went up for a shot and it was stripped away. So Shackelford will be at the line for two.
And this is a good time for Shackelford to find a little bit of a rhythm. Shooting 1 for 6 from the field right now. A couple of free throws can really help him find a little bit of a rhythm and get his offensive game really rolling.
Toledo's defense has been stout the past few games. The Rockets holding opponents under 40% shooting, just over 30% shooting from deep. Bowling Green so far in this first half having success from beyond the arc, 3 for 8 from deep. Overall, they're just 8 for 21 shooting. Still trying to figure out this Rockets defense. It's a ton of fast break opportunities for both of these teams. Just fast-paced offense, haymakers back and forth. Very reminiscent of the first matchup up at Savage Arena and how fast that first half went. Ended up slowing down in the second half. We'll see if this game follows a similar trend. Shackelford misses the first free throw. Too strong off back iron. 77.5% on the season. Makes the second one. Myra Wool will check in for Shackelford. Wool 9th in the MAC in three-point shooting. He's the Falcons' main threat from beyond the arc. Sonny Wilson with the ball. The former Gatorade Michigan Player of the Year at Detroit Jesuit High School. Three-pointer launch by Vanderjagt in front of the Bowling Green bench. No good. Rebounded by Campbell. Campbell pushing the pace. Gives it off to Thomas. Now to the right wing to Towns. Top of the key to Thomas. Down low to Goins. Goins guarded by Owinga. Backing his way down. Double team. Tries to kick it out. May have been going up for a shot there. He was indeed. And they're going to call a foul on Sonny Wilson. Apologies. That will be on Jalen Owinga.
It's already his third personal
That's
now.
his third, yeah.
It is.
I mean,
And he is a huge bench piece for Kowalczyk and the Rockets.
I mean, already a pretty low-scoring bench team, and one of your best bench players just picked up his third personal. He's 2 away from checking out of the game.
Goins hits the first free throw. Goins, the best free throw shooter on this Falcons team this season. 85.7%, now 19 for 22. He has really emerged as a key role player for Bowling Green. Misses the second free throw. Fight for the rebound obtained by Myar Wool. Falcons will keep it. Wool gives it off to Goins. Goins backing his way down. Spins around Parks. Puts it up. It goes. Aiden Goins on fire for Bowling Green here in this first half.
As a three-point play by Aiden Goins. What a move to just get around Parks. Puts it off the glass and in. Great job by Goins.
6 points, 3 rebounds for Goins. As he now is guarding Parks down low. Parks lost the ball. Bowling Green going to take it the other way. Here comes Justin Thomas. Ball flies out of his hands. Hit the matting of the hoop in front of the student section. And it was knocked away, but it stays Bowling Green ball.
And on that Parks turnover, 3 Falcons swarmed him. He had no intention of passing that ball after Goins put him in a blender on the offensive end. He was going to get his get back for that.
Inbound to Goins. Goins catches it behind Parks. Goes up strong. Does not get the layup to fall, but Parks fouls him. Right now, Aiden Goins winning the battle against Austin Parks down low.
That was one of the craziest inbound catches I've ever seen in my life. He catches it off the back of Parks and manages to maintain position. That's insane.
It's like a catch in the end zone.
Looked like Harold Fannin Jr. out there catching a touchdown.
Goins back at the line. Hits the first. He did a lot to get in shape after he got to Bowling Green. He's lost over 30 pounds from when he arrived here in the offseason to get himself in shape to play the way he is right now. Hits both from the line. Aiden Goins, the Falcons' leading scorer with 8 points, and he leads the team with 3 rebounds. Been pivotal in this first half for Bowling Green. They lead Toledo 28-25. Just over 5 minutes to play in the first half. Austin Parks with the ball, dishes it inside to Craig. Craig's layup no good. Rebound by Goins, his 4th of the game. Myra Wall with the rock now. Far side wing, gives it to Goins. Goins going to keep the dribble before he hands it off to Thomas at the midcourt logo. Justin Thomas surveying, picks up his dribble, tries to feed it to Sam Towns. Towns can't keep it in bounds, goes out of bounds, off of Towns, will be Toledo ball. Just an errant pass there, trying to force it to Sam Towns in front of the Toledo bench.
There was too much thinking on that play, trying to figure out what they were going to do and when they were going to do it. Sometimes you just got to go and with that first feeling of play.
Leroy Blayden Jr. with the ball, guarded by Wall. Tries to drive inside, feeds it to Sean Craig down low. He is fouled. We'll see who they assign it to.
I think they're going to assign it on Wall.
Now they're going to give it to Goins.
First personal for Goins.
It is against Goins. So that will send Sean Craig to the line. Craig, 78% free throw shooter this season. Scored 13 points with 7 rebounds in his first game against the Falcons this year. He hit a big three-pointer before Leroy Blayden Jr. hit the game-winning three-pointer in the final minute of that last contest. Officials looking at something, it appears.
We got Austin Parks over with the athletic trainer for Toledo. Got some blood on him, getting that cleaned off.
Yeah.
So they'll get that cleaned up. Parks comes back into play now. Sean Craig again at the line for 2 free throws. Toledo, the best free throw shooting team in the Mid-American Conference. 28-25, Bowling Green leads. Craig misses the first, too strong. The environment here is energetic. That Bowling Green student section is packed out in orange.
And Aiden Goins subbing out. Troy Glover coming back into the game. Interesting to see how he takes Austin Parks, who already has a foul on this offensive end.
Craig makes 1 of 2, shooting away from the student section. Important to note that Toledo will have to shoot into the student section second half. Shackelford with the ball on the low block. Guarded by James, slithers his way inside, no good. Rebounded by Shackelford and Glover. They fought for it before Shackelford took it. I think they were fighting until they realized that it was 2 teammates that were trying to grab the ball. And Glover went, you can take it. Gets reset out to Sam Towns. He nails a triple straight away. His second three-pointer of the game for the big man. It's a 5-point lead for Bowling Green, their biggest of the game, 31-26. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half.
And you want to see teams fighting for rebounds, sometimes not against your own teammates, but fighting for rebounds nonetheless is a great sign for this Falcons team.
Sonny Wilson driving inside, a circus shot, thrown up, a hook shot over Glover, does not fall. Bowling Green takes it the other way. Myra Wool trying to drive baseline, resets, guarded by Craig, gonna go fadeaway J to his right. What a shot by Myra Wool! And that will force a timeout by Todd Kowalczyk. Todd Simon getting the crowd on their feet.
And that's a basketball timeout if I've ever seen one. 5-0 run for the Falcons, the last minute, an offensive rebound, getting that second shot opportunity, really getting the offense rolling now. And that's Toledo's got to cut it off right now.
Bowling Green, like you said, a 5-0 run over the past minute, 5 seconds, a 16-3 run over the past 6 minutes, 17 seconds. They lead it 33-26, 3:25 left to play in the first half. You're listening to BGSU men's basketball against Toledo in the Battle of I-75 right here from the Stroh Center on Falcon Radio.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You are tuned into Falcon Media Sports Network basketball coverage on Falcon Radio.
(33-26), Bowling Green leads Toledo in the Battle of I-75 here from the Stroh Center. 3:25 left to play in this first half. The Falcons, their largest lead of the game, as it stands right now at 7 points. Tyler Kavlitz alongside Foster Alstein and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Toledo has possession. It'll be Sonny Wilson bringing the ball up the court for Toledo. Blyden Jr., Parks, Wilson, Craig, and James on the floor. For Bowling Green, Towns, Glover, Campbell, Shackelford, and Wall. Blyden Jr. with the ball, looking for an option, gives it off to Vanderjagt, loses the ball, picked up by Campbell, his second steal of the game. Javante trying to go coast to coast, he does! As he takes the contact and falls to the floor. No foul called, but it's a 9-point Bowling Green lead. Inside is Wilson, his floater's good, back to 7.
Fast-paced basketball here in the Stroh Center.
Very
Campbell
fast.
steal and score, and then on the opposite side, Toledo just taking advantage of all the Falcons running down there to get an offensive set.
And for Toledo, I mean, you snap that scoreless streak. I mean, that's got to feel good. I mean, small victories at this point. We're trying to build your way back up.
Well, a little fadeaway J just outside the paint. Baseline, that goes. He is so good at those fadeaway shots.
He makes some of the toughest shots that I have seen in college basketball. He's so long, he can get up and over defenders at any time.
Sonny Wilson with the ball in the corner in front of the Bowling Green bench, feeds it to Parks. Parks guarded by Glover, kicks it out. Wilson going to pull the trigger on a triple. No good, too strong. Rebounded by Glover. Here comes Shackelford with it up the floor. Shackelford hands it off to Towns. Towns moving to his right, picks it up at the free throw line, kicks it out. Left wing, three-pointer by Shackelford, bounces out. Sonny Wilson brings it up the floor, hands it to Blyden. Blyden, a wide open triple near side wing, does not get it to go, too short. Rebounded by Parks, who kicked it out to Blyden, and there's a triple drained by Sonny Wilson. Second chance points pay off for the Rockets. 37-31, 6-point lead now for Bowling Green. As on the other end, Shackelford gets inside, his layup no good. It's going to be Toledo ball. I don't know what the call exactly was. An offensive foul by Sam Towns.
Guys, I think they're going to get that on Shackelford. Yeah,
they are going to put it on
I think
Shackelford.
it's because he put his arm underneath when they're trying to grab the rebound. He just kind of stuck his arm near a Toledo defender, and I think that's what they called it on.
Interesting one to call out of the ones that we've seen that could have been called on both sides. But they make the choice there. 37-31, Bowling Green leads. 1 minute 15 to play in the first half. Leroy Blyden Jr. driving baseline, snakes his way inside, layup no good. Rebounded by Will James Jr. He puts it up for 2 points. 4-point lead for Bowling Green, 37-33. Javante Campbell blazing down the other end, lost the ball. Toledo takes it the other way. Vanderjagt, open path to the rim, knocked away and blocked by Sam Towns. He pinned it on the backboard. Here comes Wool on the other end. He lost the ball, taken away by Wilson. Dribbled it off his foot. Wilson floater, that's good. And it's a 2-point game, 37-35. Here come the Rockets, a 7-0 run over the past 2 minutes.
The Falcons played a little too fast for their own good. Multiple turnovers when they had nobody in front of them. That Campbell turnover, one of the biggest exceptions right there, just running down the court, turns it over with no one in front of him. Can't have that if you're the Falcons, and you're letting Toledo right back into the game.
I mean, they're running right into the defenders as well. They're not running down to try to score. It feels like they're just trying to get to the other end of the court with no plan, just to try to get into the shooting motion, but they're just running right into the defenders. And when they do that, they lose control of the basketball because they're not thinking about their next move, and that leads to turnovers.
37-35, Bowling Green leads. 38.6 seconds on the clock. If you remember, it was a very close first half last time around up at Savage Arena. I believe the Rockets went to halftime with a 1-point lead after hitting a shot near the buzzer. Bowling Green looking to take a lead in halftime in this contest. Javante Campbell going to methodically bring the ball slowly up the floor, passes the timeline, and he'll run some clock down. About 8 seconds separating game clock and shot clock. We're down to 20 seconds on the game clock, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Javante Campbell picks up his dribble, gives it to Sam Towns. 5 on the shot clock. Towns in the paint, spins, puts up a floater, no good. Rebounded by Parks. Toledo's got 6 seconds to do something. Blyden with the ball, driving inside. 3-2, knocked away by Glover. He rejects it, and there's 1.3 left on the clock. Huge defensive play by Glover to prevent a tie game. 1.3, well enough time for a jumper to be put up. We'll see what Toledo chooses to do, inbounding from the baseline. The inbound goes to Parks. Jumper put up, no good. Terrific defense by Glover. And Bowling Green takes the lead heading into halftime, 37-35. The Falcons lead the Rockets here at halftime of the Battle of I-75 at the Stroh Center. We'll take a few seconds to collect ourselves after that fast-paced first half. Come back with a halftime report for you. Once again, Bowling Green leads Toledo at halftime, 37-35. You're listening to the Battle by 75 on Falcon Radio. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
On September 28, 2025, BGSU women's soccer's Lizzie Boltnick scored her first goal in 2 years in a 4-0 win over Central Michigan. She later earned a brace in the win. Falcon Media Sports Network's Henry Costco had the call of her first strike.
It's around Boltnick. Gonna have a lot of space here on this side. She's gonna be on the breakaway. The 2-on-1. Borgman has to get back towards the goal, and she's got to put it forward over the head of Borgman and in. Lizzie Boltnick. Unbelievable. Taking advantage of Borgman being up near the midfield line.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network feature call.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
Welcome inside the Colleen Center studio. My name is Sam Bork, your board operator for tonight's matchup. Obviously, Battle of I-75. You just heard the first half there. Very much a back-and-forth battle, just like we anticipated from these two teams. BG is up by 2, 37-35 in halftime now. We're going to send it over to Tyler Kavlitz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rosti in just a few more minutes for their halftime report, but wanted to just come in here and give you the around the MAC of what is going on today in men's basketball in MAC play. So not a whole lot of really pivotal matchups here, a lot of the bottom tier MAC teams in play today. We had Western Michigan and Eastern Michigan go final 76-62. Western Michigan picking up the win there to move to 3-9 in MAC play over there. And then Kent State and Ball State also playing. Kent State picking up a 7-point victory, 75-68 to move to 10-3 in the MAC. Definitely those top three teams, Miami, Akron, and Kent State, definitely are the teams to watch out for come tournament time. Obviously the Golden Flashes picking up the win there in Ball State. And the other game going on right now, also in halftime right now, is Northern Illinois and Central Michigan. Central Michigan up big in this halftime, 51-22. On their home court. Obviously, like I said, the other two bottom of the MAC teams there, both 3-8 in the conference. Not really playing for a whole lot there, but obviously Central Michigan still coming out hot. And then last night we had the really big matchups last night. Miami, Ohio, once again moving to 25-0. Their school record for wins in a row, 25-0. For the 23rd ranked Miami Redhawks. Just a phenomenal team picking up the win over Ohio, 90-74. They are obviously going to be the team to beat come tournament time, and I don't know if anybody can. Nobody has done it all year, so we will see how that goes. Obviously, Bowling Green is going to match up with them coming up next week. That's going to be a big one. And then Akron, the other top dog in the MAC, picking up a 7-point win, rather close to UMass, 99-92. So that is all that is going on around the MAC in conference play. Going to take another short break and then send it right back over to the Stroh Center where they have their halftime report. So keep it right here. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball action, live on Falcon Radio.
Halftime here at the Stroh Center, 37-35. Bowling Green leads Toledo at halftime of the Battle of I-75. Tyler Kamlitz alongside Foster Rostein and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Guys, what are our takeaways from the first half of action? Where do we feel, are we confident with where Bowling Green is? Do we think Bowling Green can have a bigger lead? And just what you make overall takes of that first half?
I think one of the takeaways I want to make is Aiden Goins. I mean, what a spark plug off the bench he was. I mean, 8 points, a little rough on those shooting numbers, but those 4 rebounds and just when he scored was so important. I mean, those were big-time momentum swings for BG. As for BG as a whole, that entire sort of second half of the first half was some great basketball they played. They had the momentum. They kept it up before that timeout. They were really doing a really good job building that momentum, really capitalizing off all the Toledo turnovers. But, you know, Toledo, they're not a team that really goes away easily. They built their way back up. They fought back. They went on a 7-0 run to end the first half. But, I mean, BG is still showing up when it matters. I mean, that big block by Troy Glover at the end, I think that's a really good sort of momentum swing to bring you into the half. That's a big time. We're not going away just yet, even though you are on a run. So BG, I think they're making the right plays. They're just going to capitalize just a little more heading into the second half.
Well, and for Toledo, you got to like what you see from Sonny Wilson right now. 5 for 9 from the field, knocked down a 3, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal in 19 minutes of play. We talked about it in the pregame. He did not have that great of a game in Savage Arena against the Falcons. This game, he's come out looking like his dominant self and really getting this offense to go for the Rockets.
And, I mean, most of those points came from the last couple minutes of this first half. I mean, he was not having the greatest game up until that point, but, I mean, he's really exploded in these last couple of minutes. He's now leading the team in scoring. I mean, that's what you really want out of your sort of one of your premier players who's been on this team for a really long time.
Couple things that stick out to me in the stat box, too, before we get to the team and individual leaders. Bowling Green's only forced 3 turnovers from Toledo. Toledo only turns the ball over just 10.5 times a game. It's the best in the MAC by far. But they have 6 points off those 3 turnovers. They found a way to score points off of them, which is something they did not do in the first matchup against the Rockets. They are also dominating on the glass right now. 21-16, they lead in rebounds. They have double the amount of offensive rebounds that Toledo has, 6-3. And if you look at the second chance points for Bowling Green, they lead that 13-5. So they're doing a great job on the boards. That's something we'll see if that continues or not. But looking at the team stats overall, both teams shooting nearly identical. 43.8% from the field for Toledo, 43.3% for Bowling Green, 44.4% from 3 for Toledo, 40% from 3 for Bowling Green, 3 for 4 from the line for the Rockets, 7 for 11 from the line for the Falcons. Again, Bowling Green leading the rebounding. Toledo has 7 assists to Bowling Green's 4. The leading scorer of the contest is Sonny Wilson with 11. The leading rebounder, you're going to Austin Parks for the Rockets with 5. Javante Campbell leads the Falcons in scoring with 9. He's backed by Sam Towns and Aiden Goins, who have 8 apiece. So what do we want to see out of both these teams adjustment-wise going into the second half?
Well, I think for BG, just important to sort of just adapt to how Toledo is going to keep coming back throughout this game. I mean, there are going to be so many momentum swings throughout this one. You just got to kind of stay calm. You got to stay in that zone. But they also have to watch out in that zone. Toledo has run a lot of pick and roll in these offensive positions. They love running the pick and roll. They're freeing up space through that zone. You have to stay on your man. You have to switch at the right times. You can't have any sort of hesitation when you're making those switches either. As for Toledo, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that you're going to be shooting towards the student section this half. They get loud. This is a packed student section right now, especially during free throws. It's been a very physical contest. There have been too many trips so far, but that is something you are going to have to manage.
And I'll go even a step farther. You talked about playing with confidence, playing with controlled chaos for the Falcons. They like to play fast And during that last little stretch where Toledo got themselves back into the game, Bowling Green playing a little bit of out-of-control basketball, not really able to find offensive sets, running a little bit too fast for themselves and just making mistakes that they really don't need to be making. You need to see them slow the ball down just a little bit, or if you're going to keep playing fast, play with the control that you're able to play fast, but have that control still while they're running.
And I will say listed capacity here at the Stroh Center is 4,387. This place is pretty close to 4, if not a little bit over. It is packed for the Battle of I-75, and like you mentioned, that student section is loud and proud for Bowling Green. So we will send it back to the studio for a few more minutes, about 4.5 until we get underway with second half action. Again, Bowling Green leading Toledo at halftime 37-35 here from the Stroh Center in the Battle of I-75. You are listening to BGSU Men's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
You are listening to Falcon Radio, for Falcons by Falcons, and home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do? Text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Even when the game ends, Falcon Media Sports Network's coverage continues with a recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
moments away from the start of second half action in the Battle of I-75 here at the Stroh Center. Tyler Kavlitz joined alongside Foster Alstein and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. We will have a lot more coverage of this contest outside of just this broadcast across our social channels and our website. If you did it before, there's still time to check out my preview. Not sure how much that's going to help now. But Andrew Smith will have the recap of the game. He is sitting to our left. We all will kind of put out some additional stories of the game over the next day or two. Sam Bork back there in the studio doing a great job for us. Dawson Pelter's going to have a highlight video out. Vaughn Ullum is running socials for us. And Kurt Leidy and Mason Olsopsky getting some good photos. All of that content will be available across bgfalconmedia.com, the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel, and at BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Javante Campbell going to start the second half with the ball in his hands. Bowling Green going right to left away from the student section. Toledo will be going left to right across the court into the Falcon student section. Campbell feeds it off to Shackelford into the corner. Justin Thomas launches up a triple, drains it in front of the Bowling Green bench. Good start to the half for the Falcons. Their lead up to 5, 40-35.
And believe it or not, that's Justin Thomas' first shot of the day. It's from corner for 3, and it's good. Good start for his shooting performance, and it's only the second half.
Had 10 points on 4 for 6 shooting on Wednesday against NIU. Three-pointer by Sean Craig, no good. Kicked out, rebounded by Wilson. It's going to be a three-pointer jacked up by Blyden, no good. Campbell comes up with a rebound. He's going to run with it. Campbell driving, lost the ball. Almost like he was holding his leg for a second, but he's all good. It's going to stay Bowling Green ball.
And that's a little bit of out-of-control play. 3-on-2 for the Rockets. They had 3 defenders back. That situation, slow it down just a little bit, let the rest of the team get back and run a nice offensive set.
Campbell just getting a little overzealous, trying to get to the rim as fast as he can. Glover hands it off to Campbell. Campbell backs out, gives it top of the key to Shackelford. Now over to Justin Thomas. JT kicks it cross court to Campbell. Campbell feeds it in the corner to Towns. Towns brings it into the paint, kicks it out to Campbell. Campbell driving inside, hands it off to Glover, who slams it home with 2 hands.
Pretty much just a handoff there. He just sees Glover in the paint. I mean, nobody's going to be able to size up against Troy Glover when he's going up to the rim like that underneath the basket.
Sonny Wilson gives off to Blyden. Now Parks down low. Parks puts his shoulder into Glover. Glover draws the charge. Terrific back-to-back plays by Troy Glover the second. First on offense with the slam, and then on defense trolling the charge. And Bowling Green gets the ball back up by 7, 42-35 with 18.5 to play.
And Austin Parks, such a big part of this Toledo Rockets offense. 14.6 rebounds and 5 blocks in the last time these two teams met. And you can see him kind of taking those steps over to get blocks in the paint, leaving Troy Glover wide open.
Shackelford gives it to the corner to Thomas. Justin Thomas backs down his defender, gets it out with Shackelford. He makes a man blow by on the fake, and then drains a triple straight away, top of the key.
That's just hot. That's intelligence by Shackelford. He realizes the defender is coming near him. He pump fakes and gets a wide open shot for 3 to extend the lead.
Was a 10-point lead momentarily for Bowling Green until Sean Craig drained a triple far side wing. So now a 7-point advantage, 45-38. That 10-point lead was the largest lead by either team today. Bowling Green, Toledo's largest lead is only 6 points. Towns, nice bounce pass inside to Shackelford, puts it up for 2. He'll go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play.
Shackelford, he had a rough start in that first half. He was not playing his best basketball, but I mean, this second half, red hot so far. He's already got 5 points, a chance for 6 when he heads to the line. What a start for Shackelford.
And I'd like to point out the shooting splits for the Falcons right now. 50% from the field, 50% from 3, and 63.6% from the free throw line. One of those we'd like to see a little bit better as Shackelford misses the free throw. But
so no 3-point play for Shackelford, and it will be Toledo ball. Nonetheless, Bowling Green leads by 9, 47-38.
Haven't missed a shot from the field in the second half so far. They're 4 for 4.
Official is going to go over to the scores table.
They might be looking at who touched it last, potentially, or time on the clock.
I think they're going to. The ref kind of motioned to his wrist there. I think they're going to look at time real quick just to see what they got.
So this will kind of lead to a little mini timeout for both coaches. So they're just going to meet with both players, a couple of their players.
Oh, indeed.
On the court.
You can feel, though, Bowling Green still carrying over that momentum from the first half, coming out the more energized team to begin the second half of action. We now have 173 on the clock. That's not possible.
That should not be correct at all. 17:32.
There we go.
In bizarre world, but yeah, here we go.
I was going to say, only 60 seconds in a minute, so 17:32 is the new time, and we're good to go. Sonny Wilson with the ball for Toledo. Guarded by Justin Thomas. Crowd continuing on, the student section in particular continuing on, the We Will Rock You chant by Queen in the stands. They've been full of energy today. Wilson driving inside, spinning inside, I should say, around Campbell and numerous defenders. Takes heavy contact. Javante will collect the foul. That'll be his second personal. Javante Campbell so far today, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Inbound to Blyden, and he puts up a floater off the backboard that falls. So 47-40, a 7-point lead now for Bowling Green. Thomas kicks it out to Campbell, now left wing to Towns, left corner to Shackelford. Shackelford drives inside, puts up a layup, does not fall. But it will be a foul against Austin Parks down low.
That's going to be 3 fouls on Austin Parks. Owinga, who's going to sub in, also has 3 fouls.
And that's huge.
I mean, those are 2 of your primary big men. I mean, they both have 3. I mean, 2 away from checking out already. Not what you want to see if you're Todd Kowalczyk.
If you're the Falcons, that means you got to continue to attack the paint with both bigs having foul trouble.
And fouls are something that Toledo normally avoids. Just 15 fouls a game. That's best in the MAC, 29th best in the country. They already have 11, so already nearing their season average. Shackelford hits both from the line, 49-40, a 9-point lead for the Falcons. Leroy Blyden Jr., who's probably in line to win MAC Freshman of the Year, brings it up the court, kicks it out to the corner for Vanderjagt, who misses a triple in front of the Toledo bench. It'll be knocked out of bounds, last touched by Bowling Green. The Rockets maintain possession. Sonny Wilson inbounds to Craig, back to Wilson, near side corner. Brings it out to the wing, picks up his dribble, gives it to Owinga at the free throw line. Now back to the wing to Craig. He brings it top of the key, gives it over to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt driving to his left, spins to his right. It's going to be a whistle blown and a foul on Troy Glover, the second.
Troy was kind of claiming that he got ball, but I think he's going to say he hit the wrist. He's trying to go for that steal.
So once again, Sonny Wilson will inbound. Wilson gets it to Owinga, driving inside, spinning around Glover. His layup no good. Campbell skies for the rebound. Javante kicks it over to Shackelford, now to Towns. Towns makes his move inside, puts up a shot as he falls to the ground. And that'll be a foul against Leroy Blyden Jr.
And Blyden in a major mismatch there. Yep. Blyden, 6'1", matching up against the 6'9" Sam Towns. Not what you want if you're Toledo. But with the fouls that they have, it's very hard for them to pick and choose who they're going to guard.
Giving up 30 pounds in that matchup as well, 170 against 200.
And I love the instincts by Sam Towns on that play. I mean, he immediately realized he had the mismatch. He immediately went right to the rim to try to score, try to use his body to get to the rim. He ends up drawing a foul, but still successful either way.
Towns hits the first on the line, 10-point lead. This next one would be the largest lead of the game. Gets it to go, an 11-point advantage for the Falcons. 51-40, 16-20 left to play at the Stroh Center. Sonny Wilson with the ball, guarded by Javante Campbell. Javante glued onto him, forces him to pass it off to Blyden. Gets it to Owinga, back to Blyden, now over to Vanderjagt. Vanderjagt near side wing, gets it back to Blyden. Blyden driving inside, lost the ball, stays Toledo ball. Troy Glover's trying to get Simon to challenge that and say that it should be Falcons ball. Simon, I believe, will challenge it, and that will take us to a media timeout. So Toledo ball when we come back. 15:59 left to play. The Falcons lead the Rockets 51-40 in the Battle of I-75. And actually, before we go to break, might be too late. Simon's trying to review that.
I mean, you might as well. You're going into a media time. I guess he's trying to
twirling his hand up in the air.
I mean,
I think it may have been too late by the time he got that in.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be too late.
Looks like it's too late. So we will head to the break. 51-40, Bowling Green leads Toledo. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ed Council.
You are listening to Falcon basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network live on Falcon Radio.
So it will be Toledo basketball. Todd Simon not able to get the challenge call in enough time. Took a second to look at it before the Bowling Green coaching staff decided they wanted the officials to take another look. So Toledo with the ball, trailing by 11 against the Orange and Brown, 51-40. Currently the largest lead of the game for the Falcons.
And it's been such a good offensive showing for the Falcons, only missing one type of shot, a single free throw missed for the Falcons in the second half play. 14 points, 4-4 from the field, and 2 for 2 from three, and 4 for 5 from the free throw line. It has been a great start for the Falcons as they have forced Toledo into 4 personal fouls as well.
Vanderjagt with the ball, driving inside, 2 in the shot clock, fade away. Jay does not go off the backboard. Sean Craig comes up with a rebound, but there is a whistle. It appears it'll be against Bowling Green.
It's going to be on Sam Towns.
That'll be his first personal foul.
You saw him immediately. He went my fault motion to his teammates. He got a little too aggressive there trying to go for the ball.
Toledo will inbound. Reset shot clock of 20 seconds. Blyden with the ball, working inside, past Shackelford, layup no good. Kicked out, Sonny Wilson with it. Wilson gives it to Vanderjagt. Campbell did a good job of staying on him as Vanderjagt faked the triple. Campbell did not fly by, stayed glued to him. Forced Vanderjagt to drive inside, lost the ball, went into the student section, but it'll stay Rockets ball. A third inbound on this possession now for the Midnight Blue and Gold. Inbound goes to Owinga, top of the key to Craig, now right wing to Blyden. Wide open is Craig down low, can't finish the layup. Heavy contest by Sam Towns. Forced Craig from going straight up to a reverse layup. Couldn't put the right touch on it. And Bowling Green escapes without giving points up on a possession where Toledo had 3 different inbounds.
I mean, you got to finish there if you're great. I mean, you had a wide open opportunity underneath the rim. It would have snapped a pretty large scoreless streak for your team. You got to hit in those moments.
Javante Campbell fires a pass inside in the paint to Glover. He loses the ball as he's double teamed, but it'll stay Falcons' possession.
And that's one of those moments. Glover, has a mismatch on him with Owinga, who has 3 fouls. He can go right at him because he can know that if Owinga fouls, he'll bring in 3 fouls from Parks. But he takes that second to think. He's got to go much faster than that.
Few substitutions. It's now Thomas, Goins, Campbell, Walt, and Towns on the floor for Bowling Green. And Toledo's going to take a timeout as it appears they're going to review the last play. They will. So we'll take a quick break. Toledo going to review the last play to see who the ball was out on. Right now, Bowling Green leading the Rockets 51-40, 15:02 left to play at the Stroh Center. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
Hey, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. When I was a Falcon, there was BGRSO. Now it's Falcon Media Sports Network. Keep up with all BGSU sports news and action by following BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and check out BGFalconMedia.com. Hi, Ziggy.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
This is Falcon men's basketball coverage live on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
Officials still huddled up at the scorer's table reviewing this play. We're trying to see if we can get an angle at it as they come out of the huddle.
They have moved away from the sideline, the board that they were watching, the monitor they were watching. So I think we're going to get the call now.
They're going to go talk to the respective coaches. They'll go over and tell the TV broadcast on ESPN Plus the call.
Bryce Martin is mouthing our ball a couple times. So I think it's going to remain BG possession.
And the ref closest to us, as we are in the Concord, motion Bowling Green ball. So it will stay with the Falcons, and Toledo loses their challenge, which could be big down the line.
That's big moving forward. I think that was too early by Todd Kowalczyk.
If I'm correct as well, they burn a timeout.
They do as well.
I mean, there are only 5 seconds left on the shot clock in this play. I think that was too early by Todd Kowalczyk.
Goins gets the inbound down low, spins around and puts it in with the left hand. 13-point advantage for Bowling Green, 53-40. Right now, it's the Falcons' game to lose with 14:45 to play. Blyden hands it to Vanderjagt, back to Blyden. Now inside to Parks, fired an overhead pass. His layup over Goins, no good. His putback, no good. Wolf secures the rebounds. Javante Campbell going to slow things down for Bowling Green. He'll kick it across the court to Towns, back to Campbell, top of the key at the midcourt logo. Javante making a move to his left, driving inside, wide open, right-handed layup, finger roll, didn't go. Put too much sauce on it, couldn't get it to fall. But Shackelford intercepts a pass the other way. Owinga swats it out of bounds as it was thrown back into play. Little pinball action with the basketball, and it results in a Bowling Green possession.
Justin Thomas, great job by him there. I mean, just jumps right in front of the pass. I mean, he came out of nowhere, forces a quick turnover. And if you're Javante Campbell, I mean, you got to finish there. I mean, that was pretty much a wide open path to the rim.
Aiden Goins with it on the low block. 10 points for Bowling Green, 3 Falcons in double figures. Right-handed hook, no good. Toledo will take it the other way. Wilson going to go for a spot-up triple. That was Blyden, apologies, not Wilson. Did not fall either way. Knocked out of bounds, going to be Bowling Green ball. Wilson is beside himself thinking it's Toledo ball, but if you're Todd Kowalczyk, you're not challenging that one at this point.
You can't.
You just lost one.
And I'd like to mention one thing. Toledo going to a little bit of a double big lineup. Owinga and Austin Parks both out on the court, both with 3 fouls. It'll be interesting to see how Bowling Green attacks that on the offensive end.
Javante kicks it to the left side to Wall. Wall takes a step inside the arc, kicks it back out to Campbell. Campbell and Talons play a game of hot potato. Javante gonna move left to right, making his way inside, falls to the ground, layup no good, no call. Here comes Blyden, kicks it out to Sonny Wilson, near side wing. Wilson floater over Goins. Goins puts his shoulder into him, and it's a 3-point play opportunity for Wilson. He is so good at draining those floaters, those running floaters coming toward the rim. He can do it moving forward. He can do it laterally. He is so good at that shot. Drew Goins out, took the contact, and he has a chance to get some momentum on Toledo's side. 53-42. It's an 11-point lead for Bowling Green. Wilson is the game's leading scorer with 13 points on 6 for 10 shooting. 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, does not have a foul or a turnover. Been a very clean game by him. Pudge is displayed on the scoreboard, forces a miss by Sonny Wilson. Once again, Pudge comes in clutch for Bowling Green.
Bowling Green's spirit animal pays dividends once again.
George Carlson may have graduated, but Pudge is here to stay for a little bit in Bowling Green. Shackelford gives it to Towns. Towns going to pull a triple. Sam Towns nails it. 3rd three-pointer of the game by Towns, and he has 13 points. 56-42. Bowling Green out to a 14-point advantage.
Tyler, he may have heard you pregame when you mentioned he was struggling from 3. I mean, he has hit his last 3 shots from 3. What a shooting night for Sam Towns.
Came into the game 2 for 16 from deep over his past 5. He's 3 for 4 from beyond the arc here today.
And they're going to call a foul.
Looks
like Justin Thomas is on the tie-up down low.
But I believe it was before the act of shooting, so it isn't going to result in free throws.
So Thomas gets the foul, and it'll be an inbound for Toledo. Goes to Owinga. Owinga back to Wilson. Sonny Wilson feeds it to Parks, who gives it to Owinga. Owinga has it stripped and taken away by Campbell. Javante Campbell hands it to Shackelford. Shackelford, acrobatic layup, no good. Towns fights for the rebound. Cannot corral it. It's taken by Toledo. James lost the ball, gets back in the possession of Owinga. Now in the hands of Leroy Blyden Jr. Under 12 minutes to play in the game. Next dead ball will bring us to a media timeout. That ball taken away by Justin Thomas on the attempted layup. Feeds it to Campbell. He gets the transition finger roll to go. Bowling Green getting everything they want right now.
Todd Simon
58-42, a 16-point lead.
Todd Simon getting the Stroh Center very loud right now.
Inside, Will James Jr.'s layup no good, kicked out. And it's rebounded by the Rockets. Finds the hand of James. He launched a triple. He drains that in front of the Toledo bench. And the Rockets desperately needed that shot to fall, and it did.
And speaking a little bit about players, Leroy Blyden Jr. really struggling right now. He's 5 points, 2 for 10 shooting. And one of the big reasons is he has constantly had Josiah Shackelford and then Justin Thomas guarding him all night. He's had no room to move. Simon has made the move to just put 2 of his better defenders on Blyden. It's working out really well.
Justin Thomas, floater off backboard, no good. Kicks it out to Sam Towns. Can he do it again? No, off the rim. Taken by Toledo. Heat check moment for Sam Towns. Leroy Blyden Jr. kicks it to the corner to Wilson. A rainbow triple falls. Back-to-back jacks by the Rockets. Gets it back to a 10-point game, 58-48, 10.5 to play. Javante Campbell guarded by Blyden. Campbell still at the midcourt logo, moving to his left. Makes Blyden go to the ground, kicks it over to Shackelford, wide open triple. He got it to go! Back to a 13-point lead for Bowling Green. So we're going to have a whistle, and it's going to be Bowling Green possession. And Todd Simon gets this crowd going. It is loud inside the Stroh Center. Bowling Green leads by 13, 61-48. But before we go to the media timeout, Artie, we've been watching, like you mentioned, Leroy Blyden Jr. just 5 points, 2 for 10 shooting. The matchups that Bowling Green are throwing at them, if you want to talk about that a little deeper.
Yeah, I mean, every time Blyden Jr., every time he's moving, he's had Shackelford on him, trying to guard him, trying to just force him to just make weird movements. Like Shackelford, he's pushing up his body against him. He's had to kind of move around more often than he's used to. And then when you make the switch, you have Justin Thomas on him, and that's one of the better perimeter defenders on the team. So Blyden Jr., he's really had nowhere to move all game long. And when you have your star freshman player not be able to produce, not be able to make points, that's slowing down the offense. You have to look towards Parks. You have to look towards Wilson. You have to look towards other players. And they haven't just been able to produce as well. Wilson has been able to produce, but Parks hasn't been able to produce. And other players haven't been able to produce as well because of that. And it really just forces them into an awkward position on offense.
You know, Wilson and Blyden have kind of switched roles from the first game. In the first game against Bowling Green, Blyden had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 8 for 17. Wilson, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 for 12 shooting. Today, Blyden 5 on 2 for 10 shooting, and Wilson 16 on 7 for 11 shooting. So this role switch with those guards, but like you mentioned, they're just not getting it from anyone else right now. Austin Parks, who had 14 in the contest, has 2 points on 1 for 5 from the field. And Bowling Green has absolutely shut him down.
And that's a Troy Glover effect too. I mean, he's had him on him all game long, and he's been able to have him on all game long, and he's played all the minutes of this one. And then you have Aiden Goins, who's playing really solid in the paint so far. I mean, the bigs have really shown out well today for Bowling Green.
And this is what you want to see, especially down the line and leading into MAC play. MAC plays a very different type of tournament basketball is very different. The ball is going to slow down. You're going to need to establish the paint. And with Glover and Goins both establishing the paint here for the Falcons against Toledo, that is a great sign for the rest of the season and tournament time if they want to make a run.
Both teams coming out of the huddle, 61-48 Bowling Green. They have led by as many as 16. Toledo has not led since 6:02 remaining in the first half. We have 9:59 left on the clock for this contest. Bowling Green will inbound on their side of the court. It'll go to Campbell. Javante Campbell, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, filling the stat box, as always, for the Orange and Brown. Campbell maneuvering his way inside, kicks it out, left wing to Shackelford. He drives inside toward the rim. First attempt does not go, second attempt does not fall either. Rebounded by Sean Craig. Gives it to Will James Jr., back to Craig, near side wing. Wide open in the corner, going to be a triple launched up by Will James Jr. By Minor Strong. Have not called his name in a while since the first half. And Strong drains the wide open triple. Back to a 10-point game, 61-51.
Strong only played 8 minutes. That was his first shot attempt and his first points with 3.
Got the start for the 5th straight contest for Kowalczyk and the Rockets. Ruffin with the ball in the corner, gets it top of the key. Shackelford launches, Shackelford hits. Shackelford up to 16 points Bowling Green back ahead by 13. Three-pointer launch the other way does not fall. From Leroy Blyden Jr., his struggles continue. Wall transition triple, too strong off back iron.
Maybe a little too quick of a look by Myar Wall there.
Minor Strong dishes to Sean Craig, who runs out of bounds but is able to pass it in before running out of bounds. Will James Jr. shot attempt there, fouled, does not go. He'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where Toledo, it's that up-tempo type of basketball they've been playing, especially in the second half. They've been able to find some open shots, maybe not being able to, connect on them all, but they're getting open shots, and that's how they build their way back into the game.
BG just looks a little unfocused sometimes on defense. I think they're getting a little too caught up in the momentum at some points, and they're not realizing, hey, there's someone in the corner, there's someone making a switch. That's happened twice now this second half, so they have to be a little more attentive, like you mentioned, on defense.
James at the line, hit the first, 83.3% this season. He's 12 for 14 on the year from the charity stripe. Played just 3 minutes in the first game against Bowling Green as the Falcons in football holding up the Battle of I-75 trophy displayed on the scoreboard. Does not faze James. He hits both from the line. Full court press on Campbell. Ball knocked away, scramble for it. Shackelford comes up with it. Shackelford gonna retreat, give it back to Campbell.
Great hustle there by Wool to get on the floor first, tap that ball out, and let Shackelford get to it.
I mean, that could have been disastrous for BG if he hadn't done that.
Campbell driving inside, pushing the defender to the ground, gets the layup to go. But they're going to say offensive foul.
He used his forearm. I think they're trying to say that.
Defender was shoved to the ground as he was driving inside. Todd Simon's going to argue it. He's not going to win that one. Offensive foul on Campbell. That's his 3rd. Campbell and Glover both with 3 fouls. On Toledo's side, it's Parks, Strong, and Owinga with 3. 8 minutes to play in the Stroh Center. 64-53. Bowling Green leads Toledo. The 186th edition of the Battle of I-75. Three-pointer launch by Blyden, no good. Strong gets the rebound. His fadeaway Jay just outside the painted area. Falls short, he airballs it. The ball is knocked out of bounds. And it will stay Toledo ball. Last touched by Bowling Green, but we will also hit a media timeout. 7:48 left to play. 64-53. Falcons still leading by double digits inside the Stroh Center. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at soundedouttogether.org. That's soundedouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Back here at the Stroh Center, Tyler Kamlitz alongside Foster Alstein and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Foster, a big emphasis in this game coming into it was rebounding and who would win the battle in the paint and the battle on the glass. That's a big factor right now in this contest, if you want to tell us a little more.
You're absolutely right. And in the second half, Toledo has 6 offensive rebounds, leading to 3 second chance opportunities. And Bowling Green's got to find a way to stop them from getting those second chance opportunities if they want to continue to hold on to this lead with the last 7:48 left. This is crunch time right here for both teams. Offensive rebounds are going to be huge, especially for the Rockets if they want to get back into this game.
Bowling Green held the lead in the second half at Savage Arena about 3 weeks ago. Toledo stormed back late to steal the victory. Bowling Green is going to try to prevent that from happening once again at the Stroh Center, and boy, oh boy, this would be a huge win for the Falcons. And if you remember, the second game against Toledo where they got the victory last year, that's what propelled their momentum the rest of the season. They went on that huge winning streak. It was just a few days after it was announced Trey Thomas would miss the rest of the year with a broken leg. The Falcons got that win against Toledo at Savage Arena, propelled them to the MAC tournament. We'll see if they can get the victory here today and what that effect it has on the season. As the inbound for Toledo gets in the hands of Leroy Blyden Jr., he makes a floater, so it's 64-55, and Toledo is showing a full court press. Sam Towns inbounds to Justin Thomas. Thomas gets it back to Towns. Towns double teamed back to Thomas, and they clear it past the timeline. It'll be handed off to Javante Campbell. He'll operate the Falcons offense from the midcourt logo. Campbell hands it off to Ruffin. Now lob down to Thomas. Back up to Campbell, top of the key. Right wing to Ruffin. Gonna pull a deep triple and cans it. Javon Ruffin, massive triple for Bowling Green.
Only taking 2 shots today, and both of them for 3, and both of them have been good.
The Colorado transfer comes up big for the Orange and Brown. Sonny Wilson inside against 2 defenders. His shot does not fall. Justin Thomas fights and collects the rebounds. Bowling Green up by 12. Gonna slow things down every possession. Try to drain away this clock. 6.5 on it right now.
And Javante Campbell, he mentioned to me that he thought that one of the reasons why BG lost is because Toledo had more possessions than them.
Javante Campbell driving inside, gets it to go for 2. And already Bowling Green right now 4 less shots than Toledo, but they've made 3 more. Ball knocked away as Blyden went inside for the shot. Going to be kicked up to Sean Craig in the corner. Craig's triple, no good. Rebounded by Sam Towns.
They've done such a good job, BG, of just swarming defense. You get behind 2 players, you get 2 players in front of in the back of a player, just kind of swarm him. They have to make an errant pass. They get a good rebound. A really good job on defense today by the Falcons.
Campbell looking for an option. Going to retreat back to the midcourt logo. Now makes a move to his left, spinning to his right. Going to be a foul called on Will James Jr. 69-55, Bowling Green leads. 5:41 to play.
And Sean Craig.
And they're going to give that foul to Sean Craig. It looked from up here that was going to go right against Will James Jr. as
Sean Craig
swiped down.
The IUPU Indy transfer. It's going to be kicked out to Sam Towns. Sam Towns, triple goes! 4th 3-pointer of the game for the big man.
And it's just one of those days for Sam Towns where everything that he shoots, that basket looks like an ocean right now, and everything going up is going to be good.
Floater on the other end by Sonny Wilson falls. A timeout's going to be called, but it is 72-57 Bowling Green. Before that floater, it was a 17-point lead for the Falcons. Timeout called by Toledo. It's a full timeout, so we're going to step away for just a second. You're listening to the Battle Y75 right here on Falcon Radio. Don't go anywhere.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
Check out live updates on X @BG_FMSN.
(72-57), Bowling Green leads Toledo. The Rockets taking a timeout before we went to break. Tyler Kavlitz alongside Foster Rosti and Artie Abrego from the Falcon Media Sports Network. It's been a fun one so far. Energetic environment inside the Stroh Center. Student section has been rowdy all game long. An orange wave that Toledo is facing. 5:20 left on the clock. Falcons looking to avenge their loss against Toledo from earlier in the season on January 24th. Rockets show a full court press. Bowling Green will break it with ease. Toledo kind of let up on it. Didn't go hardcore full court press.
Campbell really slowing things down here on these last couple possessions.
It's Campbell, Ruffin, Towns, Thomas, and Wall on the floor. 8 on the shot clock for Campbell. Javante makes his move, thought about a step back, now driving in the paint, tries to swing it, slingshot it into Sam Towns, went off his hands, but also flew off the hands of Vanderjagt. So it'll stay Bowling Green ball. Aiden Goins will check in for Towns. Goins has had a great game, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Shackelford and Towns lead the Falcons with 16 points apiece. Campbell and Goins are the other two double-digit scorers. Like I mentioned, Goins with 10, Campbell's got 13. Inbound goes to Goins, fade away, Jay does not fall. Barely missed it, off iron. Taken the other way by Sonny Wilson. Wilson driving inside, blows past Goins. Thought he had an open look if he wanted it, kicked it out. Going to be a three-pointer launched up by Vanderjagt. Fight for the rebound. Wilson contains it down low. And he's going to be fouled as he put a shot up. It'll go against Javon Ruffin, his first personal. 4:34 now on the game clock as Sonny Wilson heads to the line for 2.
So they put a Pudge on the video board. They put up the Alvi 75 trophy. I'm wondering what they're going to put up here on the video board, if anything.
And we've got a Red Robin ad right now. We'll see. I think it's been the second shot. They like to mess with them. Wilson hits the first. Goins going to check out. Sam Towns back on the floor. Sam Towns, a new season high, a new career high in three-pointers made in the game with 4 today. They are putting up Javante Campbell's game winner from last year at Savage Arena for Sonny Wilson to shoot into. It is good, rattles in the rainbow shot from Wilson. So 72-59, Bowling Green leads Toledo. Pass to Javante Campbell, clear lane to the rim, left-handed layup goes. Javante Campbell up to 13.
And that's just
apologies, up to 15 now.
That's just poor defense by Toledo. I mean, you got to know where the best player on the court is at all times if you're the defense. You can't take your eyes off someone like Javante Campbell for a second.
Bladen responds with a triple from the near side wing. So 74-62, a 12-point advantage for BG. Justin Thomas will bring it up the court, spinning his way up the court. Spins again. Now hands it off to Javante Campbell. Almost crossed the half-court line. Did not do so. 10 on the shot clock for Campbell. Under 4 minutes of game time to play. Kicks it to the corner to Ruffin. Ruffin brings it to the free throw line. Swings it over to the court to Wall. His triple no good. We have a foul on the floor. A loose ball foul. It will go against Sonny Wilson of Toledo. That'll be his first personal. And that will take us to the final media timeout of the game. 3:40 left to play at the Stroh Center. Bowling Green 74, Toledo 62. You're listening to the Battle of I-75 right here on Falcon Radio.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
know, Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events. To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Now back to more Falcon men's basketball coverage from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
(74-62), Bowling Green leads Toledo in the 186th edition of the Battle of I-75. 3:40 left to play at the Stroh Center. Bowling Green looking for a huge win against their rivals to give them a winning record in conference play. They're just, surprisingly, just 2-3 at home in conference play are the Falcons. Would be the biggest victory at the Stroh Center this year for Bowling Green men's basketball. Inbound goes to Javante Campbell. He'll run the clock down as much as he can. Can get it close to 3 minutes remaining. He makes a move inside, gonna put up a shot, contested heavily. No good, rebounded by Will James Jr. Finds the hands of Sonny Wilson. He has to pick up his dribble. Guarded by Campbell, gives it off. Blyden hands it off to Minor Strong. Strong driving inside, met by Ruffin at the baseline. Terrific defense by Ruffin. The miss is rebounded by Sam Towns.
And way to go, just straight up, don't jump. Know that you have the height advantage. Just guard him straight up. No need to try to foul or block that shot.
Double teamed Campbell does the Rockets. Swings it to a wide open Ruffin in front of the Bowling Green bench. His triple no good. Taken the other way by Toledo. Here comes Sonny Wilson. Wilson driving, trying to get past Campbell. Floater put up, too short. Rebounded by Thomas, but there is a foul called.
Yeah, Javon Ruffin.
It will be. That'll be a second personal.
And he may have missed the last 3, but I think quietly this will be one of the stronger games of Javon Ruffin's season. I mean, he's
one of the more efficient.
Definitely efficient. I mean, especially on defense. I mean, he stood strong all game long. He's had a couple of guys kind of drive into him, try to score the inside buckets, but he's held strong. He's held his ground, and he's done a good job defending who he's assigned.
Sean Craig hits the first at line. It feels like he hasn't tried to do too much. He's just known his role coming into the game and played that to the best of his ability, which I think he has struggled with at times, of trying to be a guy that goes out there and wins it all with one shot at times.
I definitely think that was sort of his mentality as a starter when he did get into that starting lineup, but it definitely seems he's calmed down a bit.
This time it's a brain rot meme posted up on this scoreboard, and that works. Forces the miss by Sean Craig. Rebounded by Towns, deflected on the full court press. Will James Jr. gets it, swatted away by Sam Towns. What a block from behind.
I mean, that went from one of the worst plays of Sam Towns' season to one of his best in about 10 seconds. What a block by Sam Towns.
Well, there's no better way than to make up with a turnover with a block shot.
Justin Thomas holding the ball at the midcourt logo. Approaching 2 minutes to play. Spins around to the left, now spinning his way inside the paint. Puts up the shot, the floater goes! 76-63, under 2 minutes to play at the Stroh Center. Sonny Wilson kicks it over to Blyden. Blyden driving inside, lost it, taken away. Shackelford with it, he'll slow things down. Now he's double teamed in front of the Bowling Green bench. Gonna be a timeout called by Bowling Green. As he was double teamed, they didn't want to lose possession. They'll keep it after the timeout by Todd Simon. And Bowling Green, a minute 44 away from securing a rivalry victory, up 13, 76-63. Some Toledo fans start heading up the stairs for the exits. Might be a bit premature, but that Toledo section directly in front of us to the right of the BGSU student section, starting to empty.
I mean, if you just look at how they've been playing on offense the last couple possessions, they've walked away with a lot of empty possessions, a lot of rush possessions, and a lot of just over shooting the basket, a lot of air balls, just not playing to the best of their ability right now. It feels like BG just has such a solid grasp of control over this one throughout the entirety of the second half.
Bowling Green fans also starting to filter out, try to get to their cars a little early. Still got a minute 44 left to play. But we just had about, I don't know, 10% of the Stroh Center empty out in the past 30 seconds.
Yeah, just, walking right out. A minute 44, still the revealing of the Falcons after the game.
Yeah.
But lots of game left to play. A minute 44, 13-point game for the Falcons.
Justin Thomas will inbound, gets it to Sam Towns. Toledo not fouling, back to Justin Thomas. Now they foul. It'll be Will James Jr. assigned the personal foul. That will be his second. Bowling Green has just played a fundamentally sound basketball game. They have only turned it over 7 times, only 13 personal fouls, 47% shooting, 52% from 3. Toledo with the ball. Blyden going to launch a triple. Straight away, no good. Rebounded by Sean Craig. His layup does fall. 76-65, 11-point game. 1:20 and counting on the clock. Sam Towns moving along the baseline, gets it to Ruffin. Ruffin gives it to Shackelford. Shackelford gives it to Towns. Towns up the floor to Campbell. Campbell driving with it, trying to get to the rim. Clear path to it. His layup goes. Back to a 13-point advantage for the Falcons. Pass inside to Sean Craig. Kicked out. Corner triple by Blyden is good. In front of the Bowling Green bench. Makes it a 10-point game, 78-68, 55.7 on the clock.
And this is where you're going to start seeing fouls by Toledo. And Bowling Green, 11 for 17 from the free throw line. They got to start knocking down their free throws down the line here, as they're going to be sent to the line with 55.7 seconds left.
I mean, you got to get the ball to Campbell. You got to get the ball to probably Wall, probably Shackelford, somebody who's really strong at the free throw line. That's who you want to get the ball to on this next one. And Toledo, like you said, they're going to run a full court press here. They're going to try to get the immediate foul or the takeaway.
78-68, 55.7 on the clock. Sam Towns will inbound for Bowling Green.
And what looks to be a big group of Falcon fans invading the Toledo side over there.
It is. They're standing up, sitting up at the top of the Toledo student section.
That's great.
Javante Campbell gives it to Josiah Shackelford. Now back to Campbell. Campbell going to launch up a triple as he was hit. Falcons trying to say that should be 3 free throws. That was a smart play by Campbell. He knew he was going to get fouled, trying to go into his shooting motion. I don't think they're going to give him it.
I'd be shocked.
It was a terrific effort.
I mean, that was just high IQ basketball. I mean,
it's a 1-and-1. Hits the first. 79-68, 43.7. Reaching the danger zone for Toledo. We're close to it, where they're not going to be able to make up this deficit. Campbell's second is good. 80-68. Sonny Wilson going to move fast with it. Gives it off to Sean Craig. Craig gives it to Will James Jr. He's blocked driving inside, but there is a foul called. Go against Javante Campbell. That'll be his 4th personal. So it'll be Minor Strong at the line. Chant coming from the student section.
Sounds to be scoreboard to me.
Okay. I tried to take off the headset for a second, listen to it. They've been animated all game long, the Falcon Fanatics going crazy there. We got Rodney Rogers now on the scoreboard. Strong hits both, 80-70. Scoreboard operators have been on their A game today at the Stroh Center.
They have a crazy camera roll, apparently.
Sam Towns kicks it up the court to Justin Thomas. 4 seconds separating game clock, shot clock, game clock down to 20. Falcons not going to be able to run it out yet. Todd Simon's telling them you can't run it out fully. They're going to get close to it though. Sam Towns with it. Down to 10 on the clock. Towns on 2 on the shot clock. Gives it to Thomas. No good. Ball bounced around. Toledo will pick it up. Bowling Green gets their revenge. They defeat Toledo 80-70, picking up their biggest Mid-American Conference victory of the season in the 50th win for head coach Todd Simon at Bowling Green.
What a win. What a win for the Falcons. They're showing a rocket ship crashing right now on the video board. What a game for BG. I mean, just absolute dominance in that second half. There was not a doubt in my mind how well of a game that Todd Simon just coached against the Toledo Rockets. Probably one of his best coaching performances. BG carried the momentum all the way through that second half.
And the bench for Bowling Green this game played such a big role. Aiden Goins, 10 points, 4 rebounds off the bench. Javon Ruffin, two threes made 6 points. Just such a great game from the bench, who added such a different element to this Bowling Green team, and it really put them over the top in this game.
Once again, Todd Simon picks up his 50th win as the head coach of the Falcons. Bowling Green will move to 16-10 overall, 7-6 in the MAC. Toledo falls to 13-13, a 500 record now, and they are 7-6 in the conference.
And another chant now ringing out, just like football.
Just like football from the Falcon Fanatic student section. Bowling Green gets their revenge against Toledo. Just like last year, the Battle of I-75 is split between the best rivals in the Mid-American Conference. So 80-70, the final score. Bowling Green defeating Toledo. Before we kick it back to the studio, any final thoughts?
What a well-coached game by Todd Simon. What a well-played game by the BG players, though. I mean, there wasn't a doubt in their minds how well I think they played. I mean, just fantastic all the way through. Great defense, great shooting, capitalized on all the right moments. What a game by Bowling Green.
And we've harped on this team for having rough shooting nights from behind the arc, and today was not one of those. 11 for 21 from three-point range, 52.4 from behind the arc. One of the best games for the Falcons shooting-wise, and that is something we really like to see continuing the rest of this season.
Before we send it back to Sam in the studio, I want to send a few thank yous. First to you, Sam, operating everything by yourself back there. Really appreciate you being in the studio, doing a job that's really the unsung hero of all of these broadcasts, board operating, allowing us to be on this broadcast. And you've done a great job with your conference reports back there of the action around the MAC. Also like to thank Andrew Smith. He'll have the recap for us on bgfalconmedia.com. Like to thank you two gentlemen, of course, for being on this 3-man broadcast special for the Battle of I-75. Like to send a thank you to Dawson Pelter for taking video. He'll have a highlight video out later. Vaughn Allum did socials on our X account, did a fantastic job there. And also to Kurt Leidy and Mason Olsofsky for taking some excellent photos. All of this content available on bgfalconmedia.com, the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel, and at BG_FMSN. With that, Bowling Green winners over Toledo 80-70. We'll kick it back to Sam Borick in the Kulin Center for a little bit of a post-game report.
You are listening to Falcon Radio for Falcons by Falcons and home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
And back here in the Colleen Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio, big thank you to Tyler Kavlitz, Foster Rostai, and the birthday boy, Artie Abrego, for their spectacular broadcast of tonight's game. Bowling Green picking up a much-needed revenge game over their rivals. A big-time performance, 80-70 win there, like you just heard. So let's break it down here. Obviously, Bowling Green led for majority of this game, their largest lead coming at 17 points. This was obviously a much better performance compared to what it was 3 weeks ago. We saw much better play from their bigs, and we saw much better play from their defense, really clamping down their bigs. Austin Parks, big reason why Toledo was able to win their game at Savage Arena. Bowling Green held them to just 2 points in this game. So really love what you see there. And the other thing I love to see here is how, balanced their scoring was. They had production from everywhere in this game. Javante Campbell leading the scoring once again for the Falcons, but you had a great performance from Sam Towns, knocking down 4 triples. We talk about how he hasn't really been the best three-point shooter, but he was lighting it up in this one. And you talk about lighting it up, you also talk about Josiah Shackelford, also finishing with 16 points, knocking down 3 triples, picking up 7 rebounds. He was the leading rebounder in tonight's matchup. He's just such a phenomenal player for this Falcons squad, and really the big reason why they were able to pull out with a very dominating victory here. And then also Aiden Goins coming off the bench, giving him 10 points, a couple and one opportunities. Just a really big spark for the Falcons in this game tonight. So final score 80-70. Like I said, Bowling Green with a much-needed revenge game here. And that is now their 3rd straight conference victory. Obviously, not three wins in a row. They lost their MAC Sunbelt Challenge game, but really, you look at that game did not really matter all that much. Obviously, the conference opponents are what really matter here, especially now in this final stretch of regular season matchups here. So you got the win against Toledo, and now on Tuesday you're going to take on Kent State, who is third in the MAC right now. And then after that, just 3 days and later, you head to Miami of Ohio to take on the 23rd ranked team in the nation, now 25-0 on the season, hoping to come away with a huge upset in that victory. It's obviously going to be tough here, but you get a very big momentum boosting win here, beating your rivals. So we will see come Tuesday how that is going to affect this team going on down the final stretch of this regular season and come tournament time. But like I said, a huge victory for this Falcons team. Home court didn't let the fans down, and everyone's sticking around, getting to see the reveal of Freddie and Frida. Obviously, a great tradition. The secrets are finally revealed. After a long year, we get to finally see who they are. So just a great night here in Bowling Green on this Valentine's Day. I want to thank everybody for tuning into this broadcast and spending a little bit of your Valentine's Day with us. We always appreciate you guys. One real quick, before I wrap it up here, I just want to give you another update around the MAC of the other game that went final that was in play, Northern Illinois and Central Michigan. Central Michigan, a huge victory here, 88-46 over Northern Illinois. Two of the bottom teams in the MAC, obviously not really playing for a whole lot, but Central Michigan really with a commanding victory there over in Mount Pleasant. And the other 2 games that happened today, you had Western and Eastern Michigan. Western Michigan picking up a 76-62 victory there, moving to 3-9 in MAC play. Eastern Michigan falling to 3-10 in the MAC. And then Kent State and Ball State. Kent State, obviously, like I said, one of the better teams in the MAC, 3rd overall, moving to 10-3 in the MAC, picking up a 75-68 win over Ball State. Ball State falling to 3-9 on the year. So that's not the only thing going on in Bowling Green. Obviously, we have college baseball season now in full swing. Bowling Green down in Atlanta, taking on the 5th-ranked team in the nation, Georgia Tech, and he had their first game last night. That was a loss, 11-4 there in the first, or 11-5 in the first game of the season down in Georgia Tech. And then you have a doubleheader today. That first game, first pitch was 1 o'clock. Very ugly game, ugly performance from Bowling Green. Georgia Tech really pouring it on there. 27-4. Yeah, you read that right. 27-4. The final score from Game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 2 is going on right now. Is the top of the fourth inning. Georgia Tech currently up 6-0. So Bowling Green not really having the start you want to in baseball, but that's probably to be expected when you're playing a team that's going to be contending for a national championship that's going to be down in Omaha. So just not the start you want, but it was going to be hard to come up with a win against this Georgia Tech team. Just very talented all around. So look out for a recap from me. I'm going to be writing that one. And once this second game concludes, should have that up probably by tomorrow. So look out for bgfalconmedia.com for a recap of the doubleheader to see just how Georgia Tech was able to annihilate Bowling Green. But yeah, you had baseball, and then starting right about now over on WBGU, you got hockey going up against Augustana in their second game of this weekend series. Last night, they were able to come out with a win, 1-0. So hopefully looking for another win here tonight to sweep Augustana, a ranked opponent there. Would be a huge victory for this Falcon hockey team. Ben Korak and Lucas Kleinmeyer are on the call out there. So once we wrap up here, you can move over to WBGU and tune into that game. So that's going to do it here for the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcast. 80-70 your final score. Bowling Green picking up a huge revenge game victory over their bitter rivals, the Toledo Rockets. For Sam Bork, for Tyler Kavelitz, Artie Abrego, Foster Rostai, want to thank you guys for tuning in as always, and we will see you in the next one. I zig.